morning, everyone. Thanks for coming back to the BNS Channel. Finally got my hair cut. Today is a get real kind of day. A couple things have happened in the last few days that have really, once again, given me insight to who I am as a person. And it got me thinking because I know that I'm not the only one that goes through obstacles in life. I'm not the only one that has to deal with decision making. I'm not the only one who has to deal with disappointment. So I want you to know that it's not a title, it's not a situation that defines who and what a person does or is. However, it is your courage, your caring, your passion, your drive that allows you to basically create the person you are or want to be. And I know that seems a bit profound, and I know it seems a bit deep, but if you really think about what happens in our everyday lives, we are challenged with situations that make us stressed, that keep us in a decision mindset that, if we don't know what the decision is, can be very stressful. It can be very depressing. It can really eliminate or squash the light that is flickering on an everyday basis inside of us. And those that have been through that kind of struggle or depression or I don't know, I think obstacle is a really good word for that, because we don't always reach the state of depression when we are up against something that we cannot seem to wrap our heads around. So, being confused is kind of the same thing. When you're at a crossroad, or you have an obstacle in your life that you are trying, excuse me while the sun is very bright. I'm not trying to make light of the situation here, but I am. So as soon as this light goes down a little bit, so you get to see my mouth. I guess what I'm trying to get at is, we as human beings every day go through trials and tribulations, obstacles, and decision making that can truly make the world feel like it's sitting on our shoulders. And it becomes a very difficult obstacle to get around, because you feel like you're in this little treadmill, hamster mill, right? And you don't seem to be moving forward. What you need to understand is that you are moving forward. As much as you feel stuck, as much as you feel like, that treadmill is just spinning and spinning and spinning, the work that you're putting into it is still very valid. And what you need to be able to do is not focus on the story of, oh, I didn't get that, or oh, this has happened to me, or oh, I can't believe that I'm having to go through this. Instead of getting stuck on that story, get stuck on a story like, oh, I cannot believe that I am going to actually pull myself through this. I am so proud of the decision that I have made. You know, I'm very happy with my mindset through this tribulation that I am faced with. You know, if you change the story and you allow yourself to feel good about overcoming the obstacle instead of focusing on the fact that you keep getting obstacles, you're going to find that a shift takes place and that you begin to feel less overwhelmed. Because overwhelmingness comes from the lack of ability to make a final decision and move on. It is the inability to finish something and move on. You feel overwhelmed because there are too many things that need to be done. There are too many decisions that need to be made. There are too many kids. There are too many employees. There's too many customers. I mean, usually the feeling of overwhelmingness comes from the inability to complete, finish, or decide on something. So I know I had talked about this in previous videos, and it comes up quite often, and I think it's because it's really what everyday life is about, and it's going to be a make or break depending on the story that you're telling yourself. So if you're focusing on the fact that you're going through all of these things all the time, then guess what? You're going to continue to go through these things all the time. And when something does land in your lap, or as some people would say, slaps you upside the head, you know, you're not going to be able to deal with it because you're still overwhelmed from all of the past stuff that's happened. So it's really important for you to understand that your stories that you're telling yourself are probably the most important stories in your life. And even the stories that were told to us as children, whether they be by our parents or our teachers or, you know, older siblings, I don't know where they're going to come from, but even those stories are not necessarily as important as the stories that you're telling yourself. So I'm going to wrap up this video because I don't want to make it too long and overwhelming. But you do need to understand that a title or a situation does not determine who and what you are or what you do, but that your caring, your love, your compassion, your courage, your drive and passion are what will allow you to create and be the person that you really want to be. And it's not what everybody else wants you to be, it's what you want to be, what you want to represent in this world. You know, if you want to represent a strong, reliable person, then that's the story you need to start telling yourself, that you are a strong, reliable person. And just by telling yourself that, what happens is your brain goes into a mode of saying, well, I already am. So these are the things that a strong, reliable person does. And you start being that role, and it starts taking place in your life. So my message today is to not allow yourself to be overwhelmed, because again, overwhelmingness is the inability to complete, to finish, to decide things, and they start piling up. Don't let them pile up. Change your story, and I will see you on the next video. Bye now.